I've normally covered all forms of combat sports like jiu-jitsu, uh, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, and MMA. But this time I'm doing something a little different. Most of us in India and even outside have grown up watching professional wrestling, specifically WWF and now WWE. And for many of us, that was the very first exposure to combat sports, especially in India. The person I'm going to bring in today is an artist, a talent, and authority figure in a wrestling promotion in India called Wrestle Square. So without any further ado, let me bring in Abby Maniac. Can you hear me, Abhishek? Abhishek, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Let me get my mic and headphones set up. I think that's turning out to be an issue. Yeah, is this better?
Yeah,
Perfect. Welcome to the show, Abhishek.
yeah. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So, should I call you Abhishek? Should I call you Abby Maniac? What should I call you?
Anything. You can
Perfect.
call me Abhishek.
Right. So, Abhishek, he's a talent at Wrestle Square. He's a podcaster. He's an authority figure, if I'm not mistaken. And he's also on commentary at Wrestle Square.
Yeah.
Right. So, Abhishek, welcome to the show. I'm really glad to have you here. For the past few months, I've been telling people I've been covering jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing, uh, you know, the range of combat sports that we see in the world today. But most of us, especially in India, the very first exposure we got to combat sports was WWF, which is now
Yeah,
WWE. And
yeah,
even MMA, we had no idea what MMA was until the world's, the most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, came into WWF. That's the first time we ever heard of MMA. So that's where the love of combat sports actually came for, me, and I'm sure for you as well. So I'm really happy to have you on the show.
yeah. Thanks. Absolutely.
So yeah, can you tell the folks on the stream a little bit about you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can say around 2018, 2019, I started working with Wrestle Square, and you were touching upon the subject of professional wrestling. So I started uh, you can say watching professional wrestling or WWF at the time when I was 5 years old.
Mhm.
It was the heights of the Attitude Era. We were talking about The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and Jim Ross calling Triple H all sons of whatever. Yeah, so that was the start, you can say, for me. And afterwards, many things went by with regards to the telecast of WWF here. And there was a time when it got cut short because of maybe some people were saying that it is not you can say very healthy, quote unquote, to watch wrestling.
Mhm.
Crass stuff was happening with regards to Sable, Tony Wilson, and stuff like that.
Right.
So it got a little, you can say, a break came about for me watching professional wrestling.
Mhm.
And next, I can, remember was in the year 2010, 2011, when I really got into the zone per se with
Mhm.
regards to watching professional wrestling.
Right. Oh, nice. And I remember the blackout period that you were talking about, because when I was watching and 1999, I remember Chris Jericho made his debut, and
Hmm.
he was one of my favorite wrestlers. And then this blackout came, and I used to read dirt sheets online, and out of the blue, I read that this Chris Jericho is undisputed champion, and that killed me so much that I couldn't see that invasion angle out in India.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I totally get what you're talking about, because when the Tori Wilson or Trish Stratus segments used to come, and there were some segments I would wait with the remote
to change the channel in case something, odd was happening, and I have to change before my parents walk in. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure most of us grew up with the love of this, and I think I grew up in Bombay, so I still had the opportunity to see some of these wrestlers live when they came down for with the few rare shows which happened in India. But
yeah.
never have I actually attended a live show. Even when in Bombay, I never got a chance. But you're living the dream. You're actually working with the promotion in India. How is that? Yeah.
Uh, yes, I would agree. It is a dream, but it. You can say it came at a cost. I can't say basically.
Hmm.
In 2016, my father passed away,
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
yeah, so I thought at the time, if I want to continue my journey with regards to the you can say the aspect. My father had this dream, as he was also a chartered accountant, a corporate accountant. So he, took me by the hand, and he was going forward with me, and he said that no problems, we can take care of it and stuff like that. But when he passed away, then I sort of contemplated that what I want to do. So I came to the conclusion that I want to pursue something which I like, which brings me joy, which brings me peace, and the stars aligned. That I got into contact with Mr. Vinayak at Russell Square, and things came about afterwards. Then a TV show from Russell Square happened, Vindangal Ke Surma.
Hmm.
I was at the tapings. I was, you can say, in charge of the entrances of the stage segments. So it after the show got over, the tapings happened. I was like, "This is it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to earn a living from this."
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
That's tough in India. Anything you do outside of the norm, right? There's engineers,
yeah,
there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's chartered accountants. That is the universe that most parents see their kids go into. Sports, दूर दूर तक कहीं पे sports का नाम होता नहीं है. Professional wrestling is like even out there, further than
yeah.
sport. For you to be able to take that chance and to try to build a life out of that, it takes a lot of guts. So that's commendable. Right? So, since you're behind the scenes, right? I'm sure most of us would love to know, because in India, people don't know how it works, and even me, even as a professional fighter, right? For me, I'm into combat sports. We have our entrance music, we walk out, we do our weigh-ins, we do our fights, but most of the promotions in that aspect focus on the fight itself, not nothing around it. Professional
Hmm.
wrestling is about everything else: the way
Hmm.
you present yourself, the way you are on the mic, you cut promos, the way you walk out, you dress, the lights, the music. How did that? I'm sure you grew up watching WWF, so you already had something in mind. But
Yeah.
in practicality, when you had to execute it, how did that work out? Did you face challenges? Could you tell us a little bit more behind the scenes?
Mm, with regards to me facing challenges initially, yes. I was not a public speaker per se. If you go back to my roots from college, from school, I was not a public speaker. I was just another, child or a kid who was an introvert, who was just by the book and everything. But here, as you said, that it requires a certain skill.
Right,
So yes, absolutely. I had to, work on the art of being a public, speaker and cut promos and everything. Basically, you have to grab the audience in, that
right,
they are, basically they want to watch you. They have to hate you or they have to love you. Because
right,
if the line is like this, that there is no up or down, then it doesn't matter. You would not become the best, or you wouldn't get recognized by the the big leagues, basically the
Right.
WWE, the AEW in professional wrestling. So you have to go outside the box,
Right.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need to get that reaction from the crowd. I get that. Yeah, and sometimes it's you may have all those storylines in mind, and the crowd reacts in a way, and you have to go in a different direction, which is what we've seen. Bryan was a clear example. The CM Punk, but even if I don't look at wrestlers, Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon, the character, Teddy Long, they've been so amazing on the mic that they make you want to watch them, even though they're not really wrestling. So, and you're an authority figure, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
how is that coming along? How is that working out?
Um, you know, sometimes it's difficult. In the past, I can say 2 years, many things you can say back of the stage and